On tonight's CTV News, Port Hills green zoners get more bad news. The Anglican diocese says nothing will change despite a new PR campaign from a group trying to save the Christchurch Cathedral. And a modern record of Christchurch is buried under the Isaac Theatre. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. The government and Christchurch City Council are offering to pay out 16 green zoned properties on the Port Hills that are at a high risk of future landslides. The promise comes following the release of the final of a series of GNS reports on mass movement in the Port Hills.
Life following the earthquakes has been rocky at best for residents living in the Port Hills. Hundreds of homeowners faced delays over the red zoning of their homes. Then they had to sit through a drawn-out review that saw some homes change from red to green and vice versa. The GNS report now released has identified 126 properties where there is life risk due to landslides. Following this news, the Christchurch City Council has now announced plans to buy 16 homes and protect another 21 where the life risk from landslides is considered intolerable. 89 of those homes are red zoned, however 37 are still zoned green. The homes in Quarry Road, Matthews Road, Defender Lane, Cliff Street and Dean's Head will be bought under the Public Works Act. The 16 homes further up the hill will be bulldozed. This will mean people may need to leave their property at short notice. The land will then be remediated until there's no threat for the 21 homes further down. This work can take up to 15 months. The City Council is contacting all affected homeowners. It's also apologising for the time it's taken to finish the GNS investigations.
A group opposing the demolition of the Christchurch Cathedral is launching a public relations campaign to try and save the historic building. They hope the campaign will win the support of New Zealanders to repair the cathedral.
Jim Anderton has never been known to give up a fight. The former Labour Cabinet Minister is still battling to save the Christchurch Cathedral. As the co-chair of the Great Christchurch Building Trust, he's made sure that the country knows the historic Christchurch Cathedral is no longer a ruin.
They think it's wrecked and it can't be fixed and it's going to cost too much money. Now we know all of those things are not correct.
A new public relations campaign launched today features recent photos of the building taken by a helicopter at more than 500 feet.
This campaign is about presenting the facts. Here is the cathedral as it now is. Does it look like a ruin to you, really? Have you seen these photos before? And if you haven't, why not?
The photos will be on display around Christchurch on billboards, and flyers will be sent out to 72,000 households. Mr Anderton says these photos prove the building can be repaired. He's questioning why the church has never released photos like these before.
Well, someone's misled us. Why haven't they shown us these photos before? That's what they say.
He says the photos support international engineering opinion that the building can be fixed. The Great Christchurch Building Trust has managed to find investors willing to help fund the repair, and once insurance money is used, Christchurch can have its cathedral back at no cost to the ratepayer within 5 years.
And then we have to ask the church to reconsider, in the light, we hope, of a very significant majority of the people of Canterbury who are now supporting the restoration because they have the facts.
David Morrill was a city missioner for more than 2 decades and was heavily involved in the Anglican diocese. He says the church should be able to find the money to repair the much-loved building.
I believe that the cathedral has the capacity, this building has the capacity to raise a lot of money, really. And I believe that it could solve one of their problems rather than being the biggest single problem that they have.
University of Canterbury Associate Professor Dr Ian Lockhead says the Anglican diocese could learn a lot from those working on restoring other historic buildings around the city.
And the Art Centre, over the last couple of years with the development of their restoration program, have learnt a huge amount about the techniques for restoring buildings of this kind, much of which will be directly applicable to the cathedral.
A spokesman from the Anglican diocese says the idea that the diocese is misleading the public by not releasing photos of the cathedral from above is laughable. Jason Rhodes says the church's engineers have taken a closer look at the building and have found it has no structural integrity. He says today's announcement changes nothing and that most people want the conversation about whether to save the building to end. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
City officials placed a time capsule in the Isaac Theatre Royal today. Reporter Joel Bautista went down for a look inside.
Hidden in the ceiling of the main foyer of the Isaac Royal Theatre is a time capsule. Filled with important documents, a copy of today's paper and historical keepsakes, it's about leaving behind a part of history for the generations to come. Dr. Anna Crichton, a board member of the Isaac Theatre Royal, led the packing of the capsule, locked it up and threw away the key. Not wanting it to be opened for decades to come, Dr. Crichton talked of the theatre's historical articles inside, including a 100th anniversary book, photos and an 1800s stoneware water bottle taken from the site before the rebuild. Chair of the Theatre Royal Management Board, Joy Simpson, says out of the many things found in the recovery of the building, a time capsule was the perfect way to save them.
Oh, well, it'll give them all the history, won't it? Not only of the theatre, but also of Christchurch and what was happening at this time.
Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell spoke of her days as a 7-year-old at the theatre, watching her very first ballet. The Mayor put in a copy of the loan agreement the council has made, joking she hoped by then it would all be paid off.
And I did say, hope you've repaid it by the time somebody opens this up. But I put in a covering letter just to say how important the Theatre Royal is to Christchurch. And I said that I hoped that when the time capsule was opened, that it would be part of a thriving performing arts part of Christchurch, and that people would be enjoying it the way that we have.
Damaged in the 2011 earthquake, the Isaac Royal is the only surviving Edwardian-style theatre in the country. Good news for Christchurch, a place where many of the heritage buildings have been destroyed beyond repair.
Everyone's very excited. It really lifted Christchurch community, and from the time we announced the opening, it really did lift them up very well.
CTV News spoke to the project manager on site about the progress of the Isaac Theatre Royal.
It's great to see it in a place where it's starting to get the feel of the old theatre and get that same buzz, and I think everyone that works on this project has that same kind of passion for it, which is awesome.
Looking around the theatre, the dome has been completed and remains covered to prevent it from getting dirty in amongst the construction.
We just had the protection up there so that it doesn't get dirty, so we've got the full painting is all done and all complete, and it's been cleaned for the first time in 100 years, so it's looking fabulous.
During the restoration of the facade, in the paint stripping process, they found 6 thick coats of paint, all from different eras in the theatre's life.
It took a lot of work and it was a lot of cost to do that, but it's really worth it. And to be dropping the scaffolding now has been pretty exciting, just to see it in its final layout that it's going to be.
Using the same bricks for the building exterior, an original look that it was built with in 1907. The Isaac Theatre Royal will be reopened on the 17th of November. Joelle Batista, CTV News.
New MPs voted into power at next month's general elections will be in line for more perks, courtesy of the taxpayer. The Remuneration Authority, which sets MPs' pay, has decided to increase a Wellington housing allowance by an extra $4,000. That means any MP visiting Wellington will receive a bonus $28,000 a year to put towards their accommodation costs when staying in the capital. However, ministers can expect $41,000 a year. Facing higher accommodation costs in Christchurch and Auckland, MPs can now claim $210 a night when visiting on official business. But the allowance for ministers has been cut from $350 a day to just $290. However, it's not all bad news. Ministers will also receive an extra $80 to be put towards their spouse's evening meal. Coming up, how resilient has Christchurch become following the earthquakes? We find out.
Get rid of that damaging and unsightly moss, mould and lichen from your path, drive or roof with Mossbuster. Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. Mossbuster costs less than half the price of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest. Check out our website to find the best solution to your moss, mould and grime problem. Order online or call us now on 0800 88 1000.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, the naturopath here at Staywell Pharmacy. Working with the pharmacist, I use herbal and nutritional medicine to recommend natural alternatives for your health. This can be to counteract any side effects of your medication, general health advice, or natural options for you and your family. I'm also available for consultations. So come in and see us at Stay Well Pharmacy, 27 Shands Road, Hornby. Stay Well Pharmacy, live well, stay well.
Warm yourself up with a delicious wintry meal at Hinton's Restaurant and Vineyard. Let the flavours of the country linger in your mouth long after your plates and glasses have been cleared. Enjoy an afternoon of comfort and class with great people. Hinton's Restaurant and Vineyard.
Action Removals, offering short or long-term storage facilities, full packing services, comprehensive rates, all fully insured and with 6 vehicle sizes to choose from. Earthquake repairs? Action Removals pack, move, store and return your valuable possessions stress-free. Action Removals, a family business that has been operating in Christchurch for over 10 years. Action Removals, your one-stop removal service on time, every time. 0800 222 526.
Our friends and family celebrate and live their lives in all sorts of ways. So it's always hard and sad with the passing of a loved one. We at Palmer Funerals know and understand this, and we believe that their life should still be celebrated even when they have gone. With our newly built chapel, we can help tailor-make a funeral which is unique and personal to you and help celebrate their life while making your difficult time easier. Palmer Funeral Services. Tailor-made funerals.
Kids television is right here on CTV. Tune in every Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. for an exciting range of fantastic kids programming. Join in with all the fun Saturday mornings from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on CTV.
New research suggests Christchurch's nightlife, including restaurants, bars and cafes, are nearing pre-earthquake levels.
St Patrick's Day, March 2014. One of Christchurch's newest bars was heaving with punters. Hundreds, if not thousands, of revellers were celebrating throughout the city and knocking back drinks. Even on an average Friday or Saturday night, the city's bars and pubs are still busy. A University of Canterbury researcher says this is a sign that the city's nightlife is nearly back to pre-quake levels. The ongoing study from the University of Canterbury's College of Business and Law shows that 907 restaurants, cafes and bars are operating in the city. This is a jump from the 778 premises open at the start of last year. The research shows that cafes are operating during the day and at night they're reopening as bars. And hospitality entrepreneurs are reaping the rewards of a booming industry. Some are continuing to expand their portfolios, targeting different markets, although a few just open up second or third premises as they become available. Associate Professor Susie Moorish says 11% or 103 hospitality businesses are new and have taken the place of some of the closed businesses. However, 317 hospitality outlets that were operating before the earthquakes have remained closed or may not open at all. The university has been geospatial mapping the city, and the research is showing that many hospitality businesses are returning to their former haunts. These maps also dispute the view that Christchurch is becoming a donut city. Clearly, hospitality businesses are going back to the popular locations pre-earthquakes. However, the research is highlighting that despite Victoria Street becoming a hotspot, the road and infrastructure hasn't kept up, and everything grinds to a halt in peak traffic. The industry has yet to branch out to Wigram, Sockburn, Hillmorton or Avonhead. It's the central city that is booming, and as the rebuild ramps up, it's the tradies who are filling the bars. Associate Professor Moorish will deliver a public lecture about Christchurch and opportunities on campus next Wednesday.
A Christchurch rental register could be set up soon. It's something that one city councillor has been wanting to get up and running since he was re-elected last year. However, the costs of the project may mean it's left to the government to foot the bill.
The Christchurch rental market is booming, and if a city councillor gets his way soon, a register for rental properties may be set up. Christchurch City Councillor Glenn Livingston is hoping that the government will launch the scheme to help keep an eye on dodgy rentals and landlords. The register would list details like how many rental properties are available and whether they're fit to live in. It would also detail the prices and which landlords and agencies are charging letting and renewal fees. Councillor Livingston has told the Christchurch Press the register could cost up to $1.5 million a year, which would be offset by charging registration fees. However, because of the high cost, he believes it would be best for the government to run it. A national register has already been proposed, and the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment is already trialling a warrant of fitness for Housing New Zealand rentals. Councillor Livingston has told the press the Housing Committee will write to MB about setting up the register, otherwise it may be left to the City Council to organise and run it.
A mild winter has helped keep milk prices up, despite Canterbury farmers fearing they were going to drop.
With no heavy snowfalls this winter, Canterbury farmers are celebrating. The Christchurch Press is reporting that milk flows into Fonterra were up 7% around the country in July, and deliveries were up nearly 9% in mid-Canterbury. The mild winter could have positive flow-on effects into the summer as pasture growth on drier paddocks begins. The mild winter has also meant that cows are starting to graze on paddocks as they dry out. The press is reporting that any extra milk will be celebrated by farmers because of a low payout over the 2014-2015 season. This low payout is in line with market prices. Forecast payouts have dropped from $8.40 a kilogram of milk solids to $6 a kg. Globally, dairy prices are 40% below their February peak.
The Christchurch City Council's first Chief Resilience Officer has outlined the city's progress at a University of Canterbury lecture.
Next month marks 4 years since the city's earthquake woes first started. The Christchurch City Council Chief Resilience Officer yesterday spoke at the University of Canterbury about his new role and how the city is becoming more resilient as time goes on.
Resilience is the ability of a city or a community to bounce back from the shocks and stresses.
Last night's seminar at the University of Canterbury marked the start of an ongoing lecture series presenting ideas, challenges and opportunities in support of Christchurch City's membership in the Rockefeller Foundation's 100 Resilient Cities Network.
It's important for Christchurch to take part in this network and this program, because I think the time is right for Christchurch, with all our issues, to really drive a new way of thinking, a new way of doing business, a new way of engaging with our community.
The experiences of 2010 and 2011 in Christchurch, across the province of Canterbury and throughout New Zealand have created a significant opportunity to positively contribute to the international resilience conversation. So, how can Christchurch become more resilient?
That's going to be a question of how well we engage with our communities. Communities are absolutely critical to this, and making sure that our communities are actually driving it. This is about people, and it's about people in their homes and the way they're participating in our democracy.
Mike is pushing for Cantabrians to get more involved.
Not just in the conversation about resilience, but in any way that they can build their own social capital, in any way that the community can come together. We've got to work in that space.
Because Christchurch is a part of the Rockefeller Foundation, the city now has access to the Foundation's resources.
It gives us access to all the current thinking and the chief resilience officers in the other cities. It gives us access to research resources and the like. So we really are leveraging off the best world thinking, and in order to be a world-class city, that's what we're going to have to do.
This seminar series is one small step towards promoting a more resilient future for Canterbury and New Zealand. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Before he took up his new role a month ago, Mike was in charge of the mayoral flooding task force. Is he missing his old job? We found out.
There was a challenge for me around some of the emotional investment, I suppose, that you put into something like that. But I'm absolutely confident that we've got the right people, in charge. So it's still a very, very big issue for Christchurch. Still some big decisions to be made, and I'm sure that everything's going to, be made in the fullness of time.
Still to come, a preview of the weekend's sport and your regional weather.
It's Blackwell's Mazda Demolition Sale, with prices on selected demonstrators that'll blow you away. BT50 4x4 from $39,995. CX5 from $35,595. Mazda 6 LTD from $49,995. CX9 from $55,495, and Mazda 3 from $30,800. The clock's ticking. These prices could blow any second. Call Blackwell's Mazda Stockburn today.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, the naturopath here at Staywell Pharmacy. Working with the pharmacist, I use herbal and nutritional medicine to recommend natural alternatives for your health. This can be to counteract any side effects of your medication, general health advice, or natural options for you and your family. I'm also available for consultations. So come in and see us at Staywell Pharmacy, 27 Shands Road, Hornby. Staywell Pharmacy, live well, stay well.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Yuck, look at all this moss and lichen. I'm not getting up there, not in these heels. Time to call Mossbuster.
Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. You can buy Mossbuster online for less than half the cost of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest, or Mossbuster can do it for you. Check out our website or call the Mossbuster crew for a free quote. Mossbuster, 0800 88 1000.
Well, another week's come to an end, so here's Gordon Findlater with a preview of the weekend's sporting activities.
Just 2 changes have been made by coach Scott Robertson for Canterbury's NPC match tonight in Hamilton. Tom Taylor will miss tonight's game against Waikato after suffering a cracked eye socket in the second half of last weekend's win over Auckland. Rob Thompson will fill Taylor's spot at second 5, with Jack Goodhue taking a spot on the bench. The only other change in the starting 15 is at lock, with Joel Everson coming in for Matt Simons. Tonight's match in Hamilton gets underway at 6:05. The Heartland Rugby Championship kicks off this weekend, with South Canterbury and Mid Canterbury both starting their seasons at home. Both games are a 2:30 kickoff tomorrow, with South Canterbury hosting Wanganui in Timaru, while last year's champions Mid Canterbury host West Coast in Ashburton. Mid Canterbury's pre-season included a Shield challenge against Counties Manukau and an upset win against Southland. That would suggest that they're looking good to regain the Meads Cup. The side have also retained the services of Japan-based First 5 Murray Williams, who proved instrumental in their success last season. To ice hockey now, and after finishing in top spot during a dominant regular season, the Canterbury Red Devils Grand Final Series gets underway this weekend against the Dunedin Thunder. The teams will play out a best-of-3 series getting underway in Dunedin on Sunday, with Game 2 next Saturday in Christchurch, with Game 3 the following day if required. The Red Devils inflicted 2 heavy defeats on their final opposition, the Dunedin Thunder, earlier this month, winning 6-1 and 6-0 at Alpine Ice. And finally tomorrow we'll see Christchurch Boys High School and Nelson College square off for the region's top prize in secondary school rugby, the Press Cup. After a dominant unbeaten run through round-robin play, Christchurch Boys will look to keep their run going when they take on Nelson, who got to the final after defeating last year's champions Marlborough Boys in a tense battle last weekend. The match will take place tomorrow at Linfield Park, with kick-off at 12:10. As always, you can alternatively watch the match from the comfort of your own home, with full coverage of the match called by rugby experts Pete Smith and Scott Cartwright, screening right here on CTV at midday Sunday, with a replay later at 5:30. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Findlater for CTV Sport.
And local viewers may be interested to know that Canterbury's Ryan Crotty has been named to Be part of the All Black team taking part in the Bledisloe Cup game being held tomorrow night against Australia at Eden Park. Well, time to check out your regional weather.
Kia ora everyone. Well, it was a moderate day around Canterbury today. South Canterbury, Timaru just 11 degrees today. Temuka and Geraldine both on 11 degrees. Ashburton 11 degrees down your way. Methven was on 12 degrees. Rakaia also on 11 degrees. Darfield 12 degrees for your Friday. Leeston and Rolleston 12 degrees. Lincoln also had a high of 12 degrees today. Christchurch a mild 11 degrees today, and Nakaroa 11 degrees for your Friday. Out north of the Waimakariri River, Kaipui, Rangiora and Amberley all had 12 degrees today. Taking a look further inland, Culverden and Hamness Springs both were on 12 degrees today, and 12 degrees also for Cheviot. And up along the east coast in Kaikoura, you reached a high of 11 degrees. Let's take a look at the weather for tomorrow. Timaru, some cloud tonight, but mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with light southwesterlies. Tonight's low 2 degrees, tomorrow's high 13 degrees. Ashburton, mostly fine and sunny with just scattered light cloud and light winds. Cooler temperatures though, with tonight's low at 1 degrees and tomorrow's high 13 degrees. And the Garden City, a period of low cloud tonight but mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with light southwesterly winds. Tonight's low 3 degrees, tomorrow's high 13 degrees. And up in Kaikoura, some cloud tonight but mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with light southwesterlies. Tonight's low 3 degrees, tomorrow's high 12 degrees. The rest of Canterbury can also expect fine weather for the weekend. Let's find out what those temperatures are for Saturday. Temuka and Geraldine, a high of 13 degrees tomorrow with -2 overnight. Methven and Darfield, you can expect 13 degrees with a low of 1 degree tonight. 13 degrees is expected in Rakaia and 2 degrees overnight. Leeston, Rolleston and Lincoln can expect 3 degrees overnight with a high of 12 for Saturday. Over in Nakaroa, 12 degrees is your high for Saturday. And out in North Canterbury, a fine day for Kaipui, Rangiora and Amberley, all on 12 degrees. And in Culverden, Hamness Springs and Cheviot, 13 degrees with a chilly -3 overnight. Looking ahead for Canterbury, fine on Sunday and Monday, some cloud at times but long sunny periods too, and light frost at night with light to moderate southerly or southwesterly winds. A period of cloud and maybe a few brief showers late on Tuesday with cold southwesterlies freshening for a time. Back to fine weather with frost and light winds on Wednesday and Thursday. And that's your weather update for Friday. Have a great weekend.
But you'll still have to wrap up warm overnight because it is still going to be very, very cold. Well, that's CTV News for Friday and the week. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.